Celebrity Catwalk that we have our Paws in the City event every year. And this year we're so excited because Amtrak has officially signed on to be one of our partners. They're here today to tell us more about the Pets on Trains program, which launched earlier this year and now allows pet parents to bring their animals with them when they're traveling. Here to tell us more is Mike Tolbert of Amtrak. Thank you for being here with us today.
It's my pleasure.
Great. So for all those pet parents out there, what do they need to know about the program? I know that there's ticketing information on your website and how much are the fares and so forth.
Well, we are thrilled to not only have the program, but announce that we've expanded the program, our Pets on Trains program, throughout Amtrak. So if the pet is 20 pounds or less, will fit in a small carrier that'll go underneath your seat, is unruly, up to date with, is not unruly, up to date with all their vaccinations, and just a pleasure to be around. They're welcome on the trains. It's a small fee, $25. Which, if you compare it to the airlines, that's way less, where you're going to pay $75 up to more than $100 per pet. So this is a program that our passengers asked for, wanted, and we're pleased to give it to them.
That's great. So every person traveling can only have one pet with them, is that correct?
It's one pet per passenger and only 5 pets per train. So that's why we tell folks, if you want to bring your pet on the train, book early, because not only will you get one of those 5 slots, but you also get the best fares.
That's great. And earlier this year, there was actually legislation that was passed called the Pets on Trains Act. So this has enabled Amtrak to give this service to your customers.
Correct. This started as a pilot program back in 2014, and we've expanded it, and now we've expanded it to all of our long distance routes, except for the auto train. You can also bring your pet on the Acela on the weekends, the Acela Express.
Wow.
That's a pilot program until June. And also the line from New Haven to Springfield. So go on, call 1-800-USA-RAIL, speak to an attendant, and they'll get you all set up with everything you need. And we're happy, again, to provide this program to our passengers.
So you started with a release, right? So it's kind of in certain trains or routes. How are you expanding in the future? Do you have plans to take this fully nationally on all of your trains?
Well, we have as of February. So if you're traveling on the Empire Builder, which goes from Chicago to California, you can bring your pet on board, provided it's in 7-hour increments. So that's why we can't allow pets on the auto train, because there are more than 7 hours between stops. But any Amtrak long distance route, 7 hours or less, you can bring your pet on board.
That's great for people to know. And I think that's wonderful that Amtrak has acknowledged that 7 hours, that's a long trip for a pet. So it's really in their best interest not to have a longer, travel schedule, I think.
Correct. And, and I'll tell you, since we started the program, we started with the pilot and then we've expanded it. We've done our research, we've talked to our customers, and the feedback we've gotten is great. Everyone has really supported the program. We've gotten no negative feedback, so we're proud to expand it.
That's wonderful. I also wanted to talk about service animals for a moment, because a lot of people have questions about that. So can you tell our viewers what the difference is between service animals riding with a passenger on Amtrak versus being a pet companion?
Sure. Well, service animals have long been allowed on Amtrak, and they can go where any of our passengers can go. As for comfort animals, those would fall under our Pets on Train policy. So again, they'd have to be 20 pounds or less and fit in a small carrier under the seat. We currently do not permit comfort animals to roam as we would service animals.
Right. So if you have a comfort animal or an emotional support animal, they would actually have to be a regular pet companion, pay their $25 fee, and then they would be contained to, is there a certain car, or can they roam into different cars on the train?
We generally have the pets in one car, and we don't let them roam. They're supposed to be in the carrier under the seat and stay there for the duration of the trip. But again, 5 pets per train. That's why we tell folks to go and book early.
And they're small, but we also didn't mention cats.
Cats.
Cats can come. So it's dogs and cats as long as they're small.
As long as they're small.
That's great. So you mentioned pet reservations and ticketing information. So when you get to the train, is there any special place that you need to check in order to board with your pet?
Just let our gate attendant know, and you'll have to sign a waiver. And making sure that your pet is up to date on all their vaccinations and assume liability, and then off you go.
So have you heard any great stories yet of people traveling with their pets? Is there any social media buzz? Like, you know, someone chronicling their adventures with their animals. Have you seen anything like that?
Sure, we've seen, if you look at our Twitter feed, you're going to see pictures of pets, you know, throughout that'll pop up. And, and that's always good to see. My better half actually likes that because she's a cat owner. So anytime she sees a pet or a cat, she's excited about that. But, you know, plenty of stories of folks that traveled with their pets in ways that may not have been comfortable for everybody. And then they found out that, hey, I can bring my pet on Amtrak, and they've taken advantage of it and said, this is great. So we know that our pets are like family.
That's right.
You know, they're our cherished family members. So being able to bring those family members with us now, you know, we're excited about it, and our customers are thrilled. It's a way for us to increase ridership and revenue, which is certainly good. But really, we're responding to our customers, and that's what they've told us they've wanted. So
that's great. And I am an Amtrak customer. I live in Connecticut now, and I've commuted to Massachusetts and Rhode Island to visit family members. So knowing that my pets can travel with me.
You can bring your pet on the train.
Is amazing. Yes, I love it so much. Is there anything else you want our viewers to know about Amtrak and what the future looks like for this program? Do you see additional benefits being added? Will you ever have maybe pet food in the cafe car? I don't know, pet snacks, something like that?
Well, we don't allow pets in the cafe car because we don't want to, you know, mix the food and the pets.
But for their parents to pick up to maybe go in and leave the pet with their friend and go grab a snack, maybe biscuits or something. Any plans for that?
You know, we're looking at everything, but certainly, you know, the response we've gotten so far has been great, and we're happy to expand it to our long distance routes, and that's certainly something. So that covers the entire country, 500 destinations that potentially you can get to, and so can Spot or Fido, you know, along with you. So that's something that it was put into law this past year. So you know, it's something that Congress could agree on. So we're happy to provide this service.
That's great. Well, if people want to learn more, we know that they can head over to Celebrity Catwalk's website and check out Paws in the City, and you can click on our Amtrak logo and it'll direct you to their page. But where should they go if they want to go directly to Amtrak? You
can go to www.amtrak.com or call 1-800-USA-RAIL and speak to an attendant, and they can tell you more about the Pets on Trains program. Thank you so much for being here with us, Mike, and sharing this exciting program. I hope that all of you will get Fluffy, Fido, or whatever your pet's name is, bring them with you. Remember, they have to be in a carry-on and 1 pet per passenger, but it's amazing. You can now travel with your pets and create memories that last a lifetime. We have 2 very special ladies here with us at Celebrity Catwalk, Dana Humphrey, also known as the Pet Lady, and Nancy Hassel of American Pet Professionals. Each year, these 2 come together to create the New York City Retail and Sales Pet Expo. And this was the year that they incorporated technology for the first time. Here to tell us more are Nancy and Dana. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Stephanie. Well, this year, I mean, about 8 million new pet owners are adopting dogs and cats, which is great news for the animals, and they're all millennials. So Gen Xers and Gen Yers are getting on the pet board. You know, it used to be that people would get married, have babies, get the pet, and now they're doing it differently. They're moving in together, they're getting the dog or the cat, and so there's so many new apps and amazing websites that these millennials that can check out to help their pet. So we thought it'd be a great time to bring in the technology aspect. So one amazing app is GAM Pets. We love them. It's on the App Store for iPhone or Droid, and it's just a game that you can actually watch. You can upload your own pet videos of dog or cat. You can upload adoption stories, which I know you're gonna love.
Yeah, I love that.
And you can vote on which videos are funnier or like more like heartwarming adoption stories.
That's great.
So it's like kind of like YouTube has gone to the pets, but as a video app. Awesome. So that's a lot of fun. And also we're really happy about Sniffree.com as people are, you know, wanting to get social as they shop. They can upload their pets' pictures, their pictures, and shop while sniffing out cool pet products online. And right now, if you buy a product on Sniffree.com, you get some free Made in USA dog treats.
Great.
Yeah. So these are blueberry and turkey and bacon, and they're made with chia seeds. So that's a really
very
exciting
healthy
perk.
Yeah.
So Nancy, tell us what are some of the most exciting moments about your event.
You know, our event has really evolved over the last, this will be our 4th show, and we have a lot of people that come, and all of our vendors are happy. And actually, one of the exciting things is that we have Puppy Hugger back this year. They were a vendor at our last show, and they're back again this year. We have a lot of celebrities that come. We have Jill Rappaport has been to all of our shows.
Yes.
You have been to all of our shows. David Fry. We have a lot of pet influencers. So we have, last year we had social media pet influencers that had over 1 million fans and followers.
Wow.
So they come and they hang out and they take photos at all the booths. So it's really a lot of fun.
I love that.
Yeah.
Are you doing a charity component and continuing that through all the events?
Yeah, we'll definitely be continuing that as well.
That's great.
Yeah.
So tell us about your sponsors. I know you have Pet Age magazine and
Yeah, we're really happy that Pet Age is on board for the trades. So they'll be there, so people can meet them at the show coming up on Tuesday, April 19th. And
Pet Age, one other thing is Pet Age has been our presenting media sponsor for every single show. So we're really, really happy about that. They're amazing.
Yes.
And then we have Hampton's Pet Magazine. So we're here in New York, and I'm sure half of New York City is out in the Hamptons in the summer. So if you don't know about Hampton's Pet, you really should. So they're one of our media sponsors, and they're doing a wonderful job as well.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
And you have other products here from your featured vendors that were just at your show. So can you tell me about those?
Sure.
yeah, well, this is really fun. We have groomers, dog trainers coming to the show, and this is a new squeeze treat. It's made in the USA, and it's made with salmon and pumpkin.
Ooh.
And so you just squeeze it into your dog's mouth. So it's super easy.
My boys
and it's
love
great for
salmon.
training.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're
check out
fish
Head
eaters.
Eggs.
They're very finicky little Japanese chins, but they love anything with salmon in it.
It's also good to put into some of the pet toys that dogs have to try to get the treats out of.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
So like in a Kong, that would work?
Instead of peanut butter or cheese whiz, this is like a
Yeah.
healthy option to put inside.
Oh, I'm totally getting that this year.
Yeah. So some of the other, for our cat lovers, one of our vendors that's coming is Whisker Box.
Aw.
And they are actually very cool. You know how cats love to go in bags and boxes
yeah,
and everything?
of course.
Right? So it's a very cool fabric wrapped box. And it's kind of tighter than the cat actually fits in. You know, cats like to squeeze themselves.
Yes.
And it has that hugging effect, so it comforts them. So it's really cool. I can't wait to see it in person. And then we have Optimal Pet Health, which is a really great all-natural pet supplement. They've been around for 16 years, and they have, it's good for dogs, cats, and horses. It cures all kinds of, I shouldn't say cures, but it helps all kinds of ailments that you have with your pet might have. So that's really great. And one other thing that we have is Choose Happiness. And so they
I love the play on words.
I know, isn't that the
That's
best?
so cute.
So cute. So they actually have, this is made from yak's fur because they make the yak's milk treats also, and then they started seeing how beautiful the fur was, and they started making it so just like with a wool from a sheep, you know how they shear them? So that's really a really great
No
product.
animals were hurt in
No
making
animals
this
were hurt. Yeah.
You saw my eyes.
sweater.
It's just like grooming, you know, when they get groomed. So it's the same thing, and they're very well cared for.
And they wouldn't call it Choose Happiness if any
No,
animals
and
were
they're
harmed.
the sweetest people that run it. And this is our next one. Ready, Dana?
Fur fighters!
Thank you for that beautiful rendition, ladies. So what do we do with this mitt?
This, you can just, you know, maybe your clothes have got a little hairy from
Oh,
your dog
I
or
need
cat, and you
this.
can just literally wipe it right off. It works on the bed too. You can just use it, and the hair just
You know where this is good
Fights the
too?
fur.
In your car.
Yes.
Yes.
I have black
Yep.
interior and dogs with white hair.
Yeah.
And I can never get it off. It like embeds in my seats. That I need.
you really have to check out the fur fighters.
Yeah, and then when when it collects the fur, you just clap your hands together and it comes off. So,
Really?
yeah, it's
Give
pretty
that
cool.
a shot. So
Amazing.
people can learn about our next shows coming out
Yeah.
at retailsandsalespetexpo.com
Yes.
and check us out on Twitter.
Yeah.
So you heard it here at Celebrity Catwalk. Every year they have the New York City Retails and Sales Pet Expo, and they just had this amazing one in April. And stay tuned, check their website for the next show coming up. Welcome back to Celebrity Catwalk. So by now you know we love kitties at Celebrity Catwalk, right? So today we brought Lauren Kalisis. He is the founder of Dr. Catsby's Food Bowl. And he designed this bowl to help your cats with whisker relief. Yeah, that's right, you heard me. You could be stressing your cat's whiskers with the wrong food bowl. Here to tell us more is Lauren. How are you today, Lauren?
Good, good.
Great.
Thank you.
So I am so interested in the design of this bowl because you have a very interesting background as an industrial designer. So can you tell our viewers how you came up with the idea to build this bowl?
Yeah, actually, I had a cat that would only eat out of the middle of the bowl, and then he would knock over the other cats and eat out of the middle of theirs. And at first I thought he just had a bad attitude problem, you know? So I separated him, and he would do the same thing when he was by himself. And then he would just cry. He would look up at me and cry the same way as though he had no food at all. And so I was really confused at that behavior. And I really realized, too, that he was trying to communicate with me. And so I went online and realized that, some cats have like hypersensitive whiskers. All cats' whiskers are sensitive, but some of them hurt so much that it's a painful experience to eat out of like the type of bowl that has a high edge. And so, again, my background as industrial designer, I'm used to taking measurements of things, and I realized this was an ergonomic problem. It was something where I could measure his whiskers and his face and the shape of it, and then I took it into 3D modeling software and created a simulation where I basically just created a bowl where his face would never come into any kind of harmful contact with the bowl. And so then I 3D printed a prototype just to test it, and I put it down, and I put food in the middle, and for the first time ever, I saw him eat all his food, no problems, and no crying, and no mess. And that's when I felt super happy that I felt like he was communicating with me, and I was able to hear it and give him something that he really deserved.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I know your cat wasn't the only cat that tested this bowl. So you had other cats testing this prototype, and what did you find through their testing of it?
Oh, it's really interesting because, of course, then we like measured more cats and we started averaging out the shape and coming up with a more ideal shape. We did side-by-side tests, and it turns out in the first couple days, most cats, the owners would say, my cat will eat out of anything. They don't care. But at the end of a week, it seemed that nearly all cats preferred the bowl, and some cats would only eat out of the food when it was in this bowl. And so, yeah, that's...
So a lot of pet parents don't know, when you sometimes see food left over in the bowl, that could be because it's uncomfortable for them to eat.
Yes.
Or if they make a big mess, which now I feel like a really bad pet parent, because my cat Sophie, she leaves little crunchies, I call them, all over her big princess bed that she eats in. So I probably need to try this out as well.
Oh, definitely give it a try, yeah. You may see changes.
So in terms of the design, I thought this was really cool because the bottom comes off.
Yeah.
And so it's easy to clean. You said this is dishwasher safe, right?
Yeah.
Great.
It can, although you might want to wash it with your hand, depending on the type of detergent,
Okay.
But it definitely is.
And what is it made out of?
It's made of 304 stainless steel, which is food grade. It's used in a lot of kitchen houseware stuff, like high end. And then this is a food grade silicone rubber mat. So again, this too, it can take high heat and it does not absorb bacteria.
Oh, that's great. And then it doesn't slide either when they're eating, which is important because sometimes animals push their dishes if it's on a slippery surface. Now, you were telling me that you're going to be designing future versions of this for other kinds of animals, so some more seniors and different heights. So can you tell me about that design?
Yeah, something, and it's really awesome. When we started designing this, we got a lot of comments and feedback from different people, and that actually guided the design a lot. And we learned that senior cats actually like to have their bowl elevated a little. It helps with digestion and also is easier for them to eat out of. So we're definitely developing a riser that could fit in between the bowl and the pad, and definitely think that'll be a good option for them.
So if our viewers want to purchase their very own Dr. Catsby's food bowl, where should they go?
Oh, drcatsby.com is a great place to, I guess it's the only place right now, so.
Great. You'll be rolling out to other places, I'm sure, in the future. Thank you so much for stopping by Celebrity Catwalk.
Wow, thank you.
We really appreciate having you here.
Oh, thank you.
It is an honor and a privilege to have Laureen Arbus here with us today. Being a Paws in the City honorary chair is at the bottom of a list of tremendous accomplishments. Laureen Arbus is a trailblazer. She's the first woman in the United States to head programming for a national network, which she has done for both Showtime and Lifetime Television. She's been a writer and producer, a consultant to various networks, and an executive in network television, cable, syndication, and print media. Try saying that 5 times fast. Thank you so much, Laureen, for giving us some of your time today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
You served on the board here, and you have a myriad of things to do. How did you get animals in the mix?
Well, animals are a great passion for me, and anything and everything I become involved with, which are a lot of different causes, have one common denominator. They focus, and I focus, on people and animals who are marginalized, and animals are. They need someone to have a voice for them. And the largest minority in the world, people with disability, and artists, and so many other causes. There are so many, they don't see themselves as causes, but so much needs to be said for some who can't speak for themselves. I have 2 dogs,
What are their names? We have to know.
Teeny Weeny and Poopy Doopy. And I did have Itsy Bitsy, the sister of Teeny Weeny, and I gave her to a really good friend of mine. She was
that's
still a
sweet.
baby. I love animals, all animals.
Oh my goodness. You just have 2 dogs?
It's very hard for me to control myself, but they travel everywhere with me. And that's why I had to give Itsy Bitsy away. I didn't think it through. How am I going to travel with 3 dogs?
It's a lot of
Even
work.
though they're small. And I've never bought a dog before. This is the first time I bought because I want it very tiny. I've always rescued.
Wow, good for you.
I'm guilty
But in a good way.
in a good way.
You're an architect of television, and you've been responsible for a lot of creative programming. What do you think of reality TV? Is it here to stay?
I love reality television.
Yes.
I have two things to say about this. It's a guilty pleasure, and it was at a point in time embarrassing to admit some of what I watch. All the Housewives, Southern Charm, all the rest of it. But the other thing about reality that is redeeming for me to be able to say is you can learn a lot. You watch a program on extreme weight loss, or you watch a program on the little people. I mean, these are eye-opening programs for many people, I think, myself included. You think of things and find out things that you don't otherwise see or know about in your life. Both.
More about discovery for you.
Yes. And distraction in a wonderful way.
Lots of it, hours and
Lots of
hours.
I was so thrilled that my assistant, I have 2 people work for me full-time, that they both are fanatics. So if I miss an episode, Jeffrey, Misty, who
They're
did they
right
go?
there.
Right there.
So you think reality TV is here to stay?
Absolutely. The price is right to do it, and the audience is insatiable. I'm here to give testimony.
You spend a fair amount of time on both coasts, New York and LA.
I do.
Do you prefer New York or LA?
Is that a setup?
Yes, it is.
I love both. I'm the ultimate diplomat. Truthfully, I do love both. Wherever I am, I'm happy. So when I'm on the plane on the way to LA, I hate leaving New York, but then when I'm on the plane, I get excited. I'm going to LA and vice versa.
You're extremely busy. What are you working on these days?
In the nonprofit world, a lot of different initiatives. Coming up in about 10 days is a brand new event that I'm the lead sponsor of. It's called Design for Disability. And we did a search and found, amongst many others, in association with the Fashion Institute of Technology, 5 designers who are designing specifically for people with disability. The winner will be announced at our event. It's called Fashion for Disability. It'll be at Sotheby's. And then an event that I'm the founder chair of, Women Who Care. We're in our 15th year, and we get about 800 people and 600 people at Cipriani's on May 9th. And we celebrate women who give back.
That's really incredible. How did you get started with this?
Well, I'm a 2nd-generation activist in many ways, and I was raised in a family where my parents deeply cared about helping others and imbued in us a really strong value system. And my older sister was born with disability. So that word marginalized that I mentioned earlier has a very major factor for me in my life, because the fact that my sister had disability marginalized me, any of us who were with her. People would stare, they would be uncomfortable, they'd walk away. And I want to be that person who's the voice for those who should be acknowledged and accepted. And I want to see this world much more inclusive, so that's what I'm about.
So in having these firsthand encounters and experiences with people with disabilities, do you think how the public reacts, do you think their reactions and the treatment, that has somehow evolved?
Such a wonderful question. My mother created the idea of the telethon. Into people's homes several decades ago came, for the first time in an American's life, people with disability. No one saw anyone with disability. Everyone was the same and all white on television. Yes, we've evolved. The more we see, the more the comfort level with that which is an unfamiliar experience develops. But there's so much discomfort around differences, and people with disability are very different, and it's very frightening for people. They need to acknowledge that, and there's a new campaign that the United Cerebral Palsy Foundation has started, which I think is great. Just say hi. Start a conversation.
You never know what you might learn.
You never know what you might learn, and you never know how happy the person who you've started the conversation with will be.
You brighten up anyone's day just by saying hi, hello,
Just saying hi.
how are you?
That's right. Gayle King and about 20 celebrities have taped pieces where they talk about how easy it is and how fun it is.
You're an accomplished Argentine tango dancer.
I am professionally.
What attracted you to dancing in the first place?
Well, I saw the music, I heard the music, I saw the dance. One couple performing, or demonstrating, they weren't performing. And there's no explaining if you're in love or with someone. Can you explain what it was that made that person become the one for you and not all the others who were in line for you? There's no explaining. Yes. There's just no explaining it. It was total love at first sight. I took classes in Los Angeles and in New York, and then I ran out of people to learn from because at that time, very few people knew it or were teaching it. And I went to Mecca, which is Buenos Aires.
Wow, that's beautiful. Where's the most interesting place you've been tango dancing?
East Berlin is truly wonderful for Argentine tango. But it's all over the world. And my dance partner and I have opened up a lot of territories because we had a show called Ritmo Tango, and it was the first ever theatrical presentation of Argentine tango to originate not in Buenos Aires. We trained all the dancers, and our musicians and singer were Argentine, and we went all over the world with it. So, and then we would teach workshops. And a lot of the places, no one had ever seen it and wanted to take it. So it's hard to say, to name one. In terms of audiences, probably the most enthusiastic have been Persians, interestingly enough. But every time, there's a very large Persian population in Los Angeles and Iranian, and very open to it. But the audiences are very enthusiastic for Argentine tango everywhere. Japan, oh my goodness, amazing.
You've been all over the world.
I have.
And yet you've taken time to be here with us today. Celebrity Catwalk. Thank you so much, Laureen, for being here.
Who wouldn't do for their little four-legged and others?
Thank you so much, Laureen.
Thank you.
That's a wrap for us here at Celebrity Catwalk. Until next time, check us out on Instagram under Celebrity Catwalk. See you next time.